Peace. Think fast, man. Happy now. Now to vibrate, of course, man. Just want to share with y'all, man, to not leave with your heart weighing heavier than the feather. I know y'all probably familiar with that hieroglyph, that picture, those symbols where they got like the little crocodile dog with a Toads and Anubis, and they got the little scale where they got a heart on one scale, and then they got a feather on the other scale. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and you wonder like what that mean, and it's like at the gates, like basically like the scene of that. Matter of fact, which I experienced from one of my DM teachers, what I'm gonna have to bring up. I forgot about that. But anyway, it's that weighing of the heart. You know what I'm saying? And what it is about, is understanding that this is, a computer. Not say computer simulation, but it's like a computer simulation. This is a matrix, physical, 3D, mathematical simulation. You know what I'm saying? That we came down here to experience where we know this is not our real self, this fleshy. Matter of fact, which that's what ancient text, the beast, the 666 bodysuit, And matter of fact, it's evident how much the ego trying to stay alive now that this thing kind of almost has a mind of its own sometimes if you don't control it, you know what I'm saying? But, this is a computer simulation, or it's like a computer simulation, and this bodysuit is basically what's keeping you, keeping you down, keeping you forgetting your spiritual self, you know what I'm saying? And the way in with the situation is basically where, you want to leave here with your heart weighing lighter than a feather, And the definition or the terminology dealing with a heavy heart is like taking things too hard, like too serious. Like whether it's something you did back in the day to somebody or a certain situation, you gotta forgive yourself and apologize to that person, allow yourself to be forgiven, but also it's about your inner forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? It's about you because somebody may not, accept your apology or whatever the case may be, but you may want to throw it out there. It's all about getting your inner being right, lifting that heaviness from your heart. You don't want to leave here because matter of fact, that's how some people get stuck in reincarnation processes, and are just stuck in around here in general, turning into ghosts trying to haunt this realm when there's a universe out here that's beautiful and you could ascend on so many beautiful levels instead of staying on earth trying to haunt people and haunt things, you know what I'm saying? But that because you got a heavy heart, like matter of fact you so tied to something physical, whether it be like a house, cause like that's the haunted house, it's like this deity or this entity wanting to, like, oh, this is my house, this is where I live, is the only thing I know, you know what I'm saying? That's where it stays at. But, you know, having that heavy heart, you know what I'm saying? But you wanna have that heart as light as a feather. That's what that picture and that terminology deals with. Like matter of fact, what's funny, like I said on the other video, was how you hear take this serious but don't take this too serious, but it's that right balance of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, yes, your spiritual growth is something, that you should take a little seriously, you know what I'm saying? Getting away from ego is something you should take seriously, but in essence not too seriously to where you're not being the spiritual being that you came, you're not being that light-hearted spiritual being that you came here to be, because this is a simulation. People not really dying. Your relatives not really dying. Honestly, like what the government doing is, all these things, is about us bringing, a high vibration in this physical realm. But for the most part, this physical realm is not the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? This is a simulation that we chose to come into experience duality, experience like, in fact, I also had a feeling of like where there's a bunch of different star beings where we all from that, because I get that from a lot of stories where like we all from different parts of the galaxy and we all just want to come to this experiment called Earth and experience things on this physical level together and see if we was gonna make it out, remembering who we really are. Basically we asked Source like, man, we want to go down and do this. The Source was like, well, it's a free will universe, so basically, y'all look, we all are one and it's all love, so I'm allow y'all to have that experience, you know, which is other things too. where you could say the story dipping into things with fallen angels and Lucifer and all this other stuff, but that ain't my thing right there. But it's definitely like an experiment, and that's something that you shouldn't leave heavy-hearted about. So anything that you did that you feeling like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, oh, you know what I'm saying? You got to find a way to make amends, with that situation, which I heard, some very serious things about, like, to keep this in a serious but positive, like, but dealing with like whether having abortions, things of this nature, you know what I'm saying? Like, where you want to, how can I say, in the light of the universe, those are things where it's not seen as a high vibrational action, but don't run from that action. You need to make amends with that action. You know what I'm saying? You need to hug that and give thanks and forgive yourself, and tell the little soul that you stop from manifesting into being, like, that you're sorry, that, like, make amends, and you don't want to leave here with that heavy heart. You know, some of us, it may be too late for for some than others, but that's a whole another story, a whole different situation. Matter of fact, I know perception wise, those people might not even be gravitating towards the video, if they that far, into the lower vibration. But even still though, it's about leaving with a light heart weighing light as a feather. You know what I'm saying? Not taking things. Yes, you're taking your spiritual ascension, serious enough to where you're not being dissuaded, but be childlike and like a kid. Like, matter of fact, I realized when I gave an offering to my grandmother and my great aunt the other night, how much souls go back to being like kids, because the way I connected with them was like on their kid level, and not like as my grandmother and my great aunt. So when we go back to these other planes of existence, in the higher astral planes, higher astral realms, high vibrational dimensions, you know what I'm saying? We're going into more of like a back to our childlike essence, back to, to that energy, being light as a feather. Not only we not physical, so we light as a feather, but and that's the thing too, where you bringing dense energy into a high vibrational place in which you can't, in essence, you know what I'm saying? It's impossible in the essence of the universal laws and the universal algorithms. And that's why, matter of fact, all this is an algorithm to get into the higher planes, and what some religions will call heaven. You know what I'm saying? It's an algorithm. Your heart, you have to not feel like you're attached to something in this physical realm before it's time for you to go. You got to know that you're a vibrational being. Leave everything here. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, take the good experiences, take the good things, of course, you know what I'm saying? But know that you are a vibrational being, and don't get stuck in thinking that you are a human. You know what I'm saying? That's the devil. Like, you wanna be stuck, or you know what I'm saying? Like, which it's not like, all right, if you don't know, you're going to eternal hell, like to burn, like how, like I say, how religion, matter of fact, Roman Catholic Church presents it. But you will be going to certain realms to learn lessons, or you'll be forced. Matter of fact, I heard Gano Grills talk about, like, where you'll be forced into a 7-year cycle of reincarnation, where you have to come back. Like 7 year. Yeah, I mean, I say 7 year, 7 lifetime cycle, where like you have to come back 7 lifetimes. So so that's however many years. You know what I'm saying? But you're coming back like 7 times to learn that lesson, like, again. As a matter of fact, he talked about, like, people who commit suicide, because it's like you're running away from your lesson. You didn't come here to run away from the lesson. You came here to learn. So, like, talk about suicide, and like I brought up abortions. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, can't take things too, you know what I'm saying? So and so, it was tragic how your mom and dad died, or it was tragic how so and so died. That's not real dying. They on the transition. They in a way, way better place right now. Matter of fact, that's one of the little cliche statements that people say after somebody died. But that is probably one of the realest things is like, bro, you is tripping for nothing. You over here stressing and messing up your being for a situation and for another being that's in a way better situation right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if that being probably wasn't enlightened before they, at least they back at the reset point where they getting to find out where they need to go again, but at least they not, in their physical body, you know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, like I say, not being attached to things in this physical realm, not letting them hold you down. Matter of fact, because even down to where away from my own heart, but even the vibrations of other people could kind of keep in this realm, like people like Michael Jackson and Tupac. Matter of fact, Brethren Tupac probably can't even rest in peace properly because everybody keep making him alive. You know what I'm saying? Which is something which I feel like he did himself though too. His soul, his higher self, his spirit. I could tell by his works, you know what I'm saying? Like with the whole Machiavelli thing, he staged that perfectly, where he had everybody like really, 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 really believing like for the longest. To the point where I'm pretty sure they still probably got a few hardcore Tupac cult like Tupac fans. It's like, bro, the brethren like probably got little maps like, look, bro, he was seen right here, bro. I'm telling you, but people could also keep our spirits kind of in this realm and almost stop us from, ascending properly by, holding on to our being, holding on to that physical form that we were in, you know, while we were on Earth. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, Tupac, Michael Jackson, that's a soul that's been a bunch of other souls and a bunch of other things. They ultimately not just or wasn't just Tupac and just Michael Jackson. It wasn't just those being. They got other works, other things they need to do. All our souls. You know what I'm saying? So, time like watch how you, like I say, hold other souls. That certain. I'm trying to find a proper word for it, like that proper mourning. Like make sure that you're not like trying like, oh, I wish this person they need to be here type of nah. Like let that person progress and go on. You can miss their physical, but don't hold that person being here any longer than than it was supposed to be. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? Because it's obviously gone. You know what I'm saying? But that all have effects. So, like I say, making sure that heart not heavier than a feather. You know what I'm saying? Have fun, man. Don't regrets. Like me with smoking my herb. Like I've got that where just control it. You know what I'm saying? And don't beat yourself over it either. You know what I'm saying? But just make sure you control your situation. Like, and that's with anything. You know what I'm saying? You don't let it don't let it put you in the but like, oh man, I gotta, oh man, like, oh, I'm not where I want to be in my spiritual. Don't let it, just grow, but don't be heavy hearted about anything. You know what I'm saying? Like you come here to experience love, grow, and shed light. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're a star seed and indigo. But just don't forget to leave here with that heart light as a feather. You know, Of course, you want to treat your spiritual ascension with some seriousness, but you don't want to, like that that person you might have wronged back in the past, a situation, whatever the case may be, man, make amends with your inner self. You could try to extend your love and apologies to that person, but for sure it's about your inner workings. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, don't if outside conditions controlled your happiness or whatever, if it was, or that's how your happiness moves through outside conditions, then that's a bad place to be. Let me tell you, if you got to control everybody to be in a happy place, then, matter of fact, that's the government basically. And the 1%ers, for them to be in a happy place, they got to control everybody and everything, which is kind of give off to the vibration of like what people call the devil, or whatever the case may be. It's just a super very very low vibration for the most part. But that's it. Before I go on rambling, peace. Happy now. Now is to vibrate. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right.